What's up everyone, John from ARTV. It's time for a review of the sophomore album by UK pop punk band As It Is. The new one is called OK. OK with a period, so you know whenever you see that over text, especially these days, you know somebody means business. That little sarcastic like, okay, like, alright, great, that's cool. And I suppose I can kind of see that as an influence into what came on this record. Now with As It Is' first album, I was not exactly on board with it. I felt it was very generic, and I know a lot of people felt the same way. The lyrical cliches were just overwhelming, and it just felt like they had not carved out their own spot in the scene. And I have to say, with this new album, OK, I did not have high expectations, but they have definitely found their footing a little bit more this time around. So, what did I listen to going into this album? What singles did I like or not like? Well, to be quite honest, I didn't hear a single song preceding this album's release, so every single one of them hit me fresh upon the eardrums right at first listen. They were all brand new tracks. I didn't even know which ones had been released as the singles. All I knew was that they had kind of a retro theme going on. I had heard that one of the music videos had kind of an older aesthetic to it. I went back and watched that, and I definitely see that now, and it kind of associates with the album cover, which I think is cool. I mean, it looks kind of old school. You've got the wholesome look to it, except there's like a missile sitting in the bicycle or something like that, and it says the album's title on it, OK, which I think it's kind of funny, but at the same time, it's like, what exactly does this have to do with the music? It's not like you're having like an overwhelming amount of references to older things from like the 1950s or 1960s. But anyways, I suppose it looks cool, and if they're trying something new with their aesthetic, more power to them. On this new album, I think they went for a little bit more of a mature and I guess kind of like niche sound this time around. They really found themselves a bit more with the guitar tones, just the structures, and a little bit more of subtlety with the bass and the drumming as well, instead of it just kind of feeling flatline to me and just kind of like all the way across, not really anything jumping off the page. There's actually very lively moments here and some ones that really come across as a bit more rambunctious things that actually grab your attention. There's some ones that really do it well in terms of mixing things up, like Soap, for example. It's the 7th track on this album, and it's one that I just didn't expect from this band because it does so much more than just the pop punk standards. And that's what I do like about this album, even though I'm not going to say that this is really pushing the envelope as a record or anything like that. It's things that they throw in that actually change it up a bit, that actually give me a spark of hope for the band's future. On the track Soap that I was just referencing there, I really see them as trying out something new with this kind of bass groove and some of the shouted vocals there. It actually was a big draw for me, one of the tracks that I found myself coming back to again and again, because I liked that they were kind of diversifying themselves as a band and seemingly playing so well together, and the creativity really started to shine there. Even the tracks that followed right after that, Austen, and especially my favorite track on the entire LP, Until I Return, a moment that is just so catchy, so full of life. It reminds me of early 2000s pop punk and what made the genre kind of fun and just memorable to me in the first place. It holds a special place in my heart because the music of that time was just so bursting at the seams with potential and light, and it seemed to be an open place for people to come to. And Until I Return is one of those moments where you can hear it not only in the lyrical content, but also just in the guitar structures and just the musicality of the track in general. Just the solo that you kind of hear and the recurring guitar theme and pattern that structures the entire song is something that will keep you coming back time and time again for more. It gets stuck in my head all the time, and I am more than okay with that. Apparently one of the singles, which I didn't know leading up to this, of course I didn't listen to any of the songs, was Pretty Little Distance, and that's another huge favorite for me on this. Like I said, I was not a huge fan of As It Is before this album, and I'm still not going to call myself that by any means, but this is another one that I can really appreciate here. It's a moment that I see as them like putting it track one of the singles, and it's them saying, look, we've actually listened to what you said, we took some of the feedback, and they actually come back with something very, very spry, very melodic, catchy, and it builds upon what they were trying to do with the first album, but actually moves forward in a meaningful way this time around. Now, I will say that they do kind of drown in some of their influences throughout the rest of the record. There's ones that I see no memorability, is that even a word? I don't see them as capturing my attention over and over again. Moments like Curtains Close and Hey Rachel kind of sounding like a Forever the Sickest Kids type track to me, and Patchwork Love with its kind of cliched lyrical flaws. That's a big thing for me on this record, is that even though I do see them pushing a little bit harder, trying and really cranking things out in terms of the music, a lot of the lyrics still struggle. And even though Patty Walters is a very talented vocalist, I do commend him on that. It seems like he really came out of his shell even a little bit more and seems to be growing in that regard. I still feel like they're struggling with the lyrics, and maybe if they can find their footing there a little bit more, they're going to continue to grow as a band. Overall, I do see this as a pretty enjoyable project. I know I'm keeping it simple with my review today. I'm sorry for that. I didn't want to bring it up too much, but I've been a little bit more than under the weather. I've been pretty sick and dealing with a little bit of an injury as well, but I still did want to get this review out for you guys. Try to do it in one take here for you, so I hope you enjoyed watching my review today. I do have some personal recommendations for you if you want to see favorites, least favorites, all that good stuff. I would check the description down below. Me personally, I'm going to go with a 3, maybe even a light 3.5 out of 5 for this project. I mean, there's some really good songs on here, all the way from the opening Pretty Little Distance to The Coast Is Where Home Is. I can't say that I'm big on the closer Still Remembering, which just kind of feels like it floats into that really cheesy territory. They do that a few times on this album, and it really just makes me want to shut those songs off and go back to the ones that I know that I really like. There are some ones that you can totally cherry pick off of this thing and come back to time and time again. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thanks for watching my As It Is Okay review. Be sure to leave a like on the video today and subscribe to the channel, because friends don't let friends go unsubscribed. If you would like to check out my review of their debut album, click right here, or another pop punk type video that I think you might enjoy, click right down here. Other than that, social media is linked in the description, and I will see you guys right here very soon on ARTV.